Okay, so everyone, let's go ahead and start seated in a comfortable way. With your legs, let's have the knees slightly bent in front of you if you can, if that's okay. Because I want to kind of move a little bit with the shoulders and the arms. So I'm going to start up here first. I'm going to move this out of the way. And then what I have you do is find your length and trying to sit underneath your sits bones. So make sure you're not rounded here. I know it's kind of hard with a soft pillow, but we're going to try our best to do that. And if that doesn't work, you can maybe try on the floor, just straight on the floor off of it. So sometimes that's a little easier to feel the length in the spine. So you decide. Yep, and then from there, we are going to let the shoulders come up to our ears and then gently down. Make sure you don't go too high up with the shoulders. Let's just gently go. And go so far that you don't feel a lot of tension, right? 2 more. Up with your shoulders and down. And your last one. Good. And then from here, we're gonna go up, back, around, and down. We're gonna go up, back, around, and down. Yeah? Up, back, around, down, and one more time. Once again, make it where it's not too sticky, where you feel those points that are like, whoa, that's too much. And back. Good. All right. From here, let's go to our knees. So we're gonna swing our feet just for a sec. We're not gonna be here for very long. So just gonna be on your knees. And what I wanna have you do is just move your arms, kind of swing them first. Yep. Just let them swing gently. Yeah, great. Awesome. And then from there, go a little further back. We're just going to shake our hands. Shake your hands, and then shake a little bit more with the elbows too. Yeah, and a little bit higher towards, a little higher with the arms, so we can shake a little bit. Yeah. Grace is like, yay. And then let's shake it down all the way. And then from here, we're just gonna move one arm in front of the other like you're walking, but very gently. Don't go too high. Just kind of more like a swinging feeling. Swing, 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 swing. Just feel like your arms are really heavy. So they're just not, you're not able to go too high. Just a little lower, Judy. If Gracie lets you, of course. Keep swinging, 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 swinging. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, so just kind of wait to loosen up the upper body. Now we're gonna lie down on our backs. Okay, so go ahead, lie down on your backs with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Okay? Make sure the head is long and heavy. Feel the neck very long. Feel the shoulders relaxed and a little wider. And then from here, we're going to pay attention to our feet. So I want you to lift your 10 toes up and then down off the floor and then down to the floor. And up and down, just your toes. Let me move my block so you can see what I'm doing with my toes. Up and down, up and down. Okay? All right, up and down. Then from there, just try to move your toes up and down only, Maureen. Don't lift the whole foot, just your toes. That's a little tricky. Yep, toes up and down, 2 more times. There you go. So we're doing toes, we're lying down on our backs and doing the toes up and down, Judy. Yeah, that's it. 1, or let's do 2 more times. Toes up, toes down, toes up, toes down. Now we're gonna crunch our toes underneath our feet and then extend them up again towards the floor. And then we're gonna bring them underneath and then extend, lengthen them and send them up to the floor. Just scrunching those toes underneath us and then up. I know they might not be very happy, so Just start easy, don't force too much on them. Just gently, where you don't feel like they're going to cramp. Okay, and then it should get easier as we keep doing this. So you're crunching and kind of flickering your toes up. That's kind of the thought of it. Crunching under and flickering up. 2 more times. And 1 more time. Great, we're just gonna let the toes be flat and down. And then we're going to do our pelvic tilt. So we're gonna move the pelvis gently, rocking it forward as we create space underneath our lower back, and then round and flattening the lower back against your mat. And out the breath, inhaling as you rock the pelvis forward, exhaling as you rock the pelvis back towards you. And 2, and 1 more time, and relax the pelvis. Great. From here, we're going to work on bringing the right knee up to tabletop. Exhaling as you float your knee over your hip, and then bringing the leg down as you inhale. Same leg is going to come up again. Exhale as you float the leg. Inhale as you bring it down. Exhale as you bring it up. Inhale as you bring the leg down. So you're moving from your hip, exactly, using your abdominals, feel the lower abs, moving your leg up and down. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. There's no tension in the upper body. 2 more here. And 1 more here. Same thing with your left leg. Just gonna float your left knee as you exhale. Inhale as you bring the leg down. Breathe out. The leg comes up. Breathe in, leg goes down. Yep. Exhale up and down. Right there. 5 more on this side. Feel heavy at the pelvis and stable. Nothing rocks. And shoulders are relaxed. I know. And let's do 2 more here. And 1 more. Fantastic. We're gonna bring both feet a little closer to us, to our glutes. Hands are flat on the floor, wide shoulders, and then we're gonna lift our hips up into a neutral bridge. Fantastic. And then we're gonna bring the hips down. Yep. Inhale to start. Exhale as you lift the hips up and think of sending your knees away. Yep. And down. Fantastic. And press into your feet to lift your hips up and down. As you come back down, 1 more here. Lift. Open the front of your hips. And then bring the hips down. Fantastic. All right. So from here, let's come back to bring the right knee up as you exhale. Great job. Okay, we're gonna bring that right leg straight down as you inhale. Bring it down, And then we're gonna bring the left leg up as you exhale. We're alternating feet. We're just lifting 1 leg at a time. Keeping both knees bent. Right leg, left leg goes down, down. Both feet are down on the floor. Then you bring the other knee up. Fabulous. And down with that leg first. Make sure the leg is down before you lift the other one up. On the top, bring it down, and then the other one comes up. That's it. Make sure both feet are flat on the floor before you change legs. Yeah. And remember to breathe. Now feel heavy at your tailbone. Make sure that tailbone is not curling up too high every time you lift your leg. Just feel heavy. So it's anchored with your pelvis.
When you're moving your legs, you're not letting the lower back move with the pelvis too, okay? One more on each side. Fantastic. Great. Let's go ahead and bring your right knee to tabletop again. But this time, you're gonna bring your right hand on top of your knee, and from there, you're gonna relax your foot and let the foot dangle from your knee, right? And you know, we're gonna go into your hip stirs or hip circles. So you're gonna circle the leg with your hand. Your hand is doing the work. Circle it one way, gently. Try not to move the pelvis with your leg, yeah? So opposite leg stays, opposite hip, it stays heavy on the mat. And then reverse your circle the other way. Yeah. Let's do 3 more this other way. And 1. Fantastic. Bring the leg down. Left knee comes up. Hold it with your left hand and relax your foot. Let it dangle. And then circle the leg around with your hand. Yes, really bring it and circle it. Yes, bring the knee a little closer to you, Maureen. A little closer, yes. And then go the other direction. That's it. Yeah, fabulous. Let's bring that leg down. Both feet flat on the floor, hands wide. And we're gonna go again into a bridge, lifting the hips straight up. Yes, that was better, Judy. Nice job. And then bring the hips down. And bring the hips up. And bring the hips down. Yes, feel a little more openness on your hips, hopefully. So it's a little easier to do the bridges. Pressing onto the feet as we lift our legs up. I'm sorry, our hips up. And 1 more. Fantastic. All right, so now from here, we're gonna bring your right knee to tabletop, dangle the foot, hold it with your right hand, and then bring your left knee to tabletop and then let it dangle too. So both feet are dangling and you have both hands holding your knees. And then we're gonna circle them again. Away from each other, away from each other. That's it. And out and around. Fabulous. That's it. And 1. Good. Now, as you keep doing this, feel how the pelvis stays heavy. And how you're gonna try to keep the abdominals engaged so you can move the legs around without rocking your pelvis too much. So that is a little tricky. But do the best you can, really trying to feel the breath helping you stabilize the pelvis. So really heavy on that tailbone. And then reverse your circles, 10 on the other direction. So we're really creating more space at the hip joint without pulling the lower back with it as we circle the legs. So yes, there's less flattening in the lower back as you send your legs away or as you bring your legs closer to you. And 2 more. And 1 more. Great job. Okay, so now we're gonna keep both knees up, but the feet are relaxed still. And we're gonna bring your hands down by your sides. Good. From here, we're gonna lengthen the right leg towards the ceiling, but we're not fully lengthening all the way. Just extend the leg to a certain point and then bend the knee. Okay, and then do the same thing with your left leg. You're lengthening the leg, but not all the way. It doesn't have to be completely straight. You decide. Make sure there's no pulling at the lower back as you lengthen your leg. Okay? And other leg, 1 leg at a time. Yeah. on each side. Fantastic. Then we're going to go a little wider with our arms, like an airplane arms, and we're going to rock our knees side to side from here. Just let them rock side to side. Okay, yeah, that's it. Fabulous. 3 more. 2 and 1. Fantastic. We're going to bring the feet down, and if they were already down, that's fine. Either way was fine. We're going to bring your arms to the ceiling now. Okay, and we're going to bring the hands together and straight up. So we're doing our rocking now with our upper body. So we're going to keep your arms straight, fingers together, and send one shoulder over the other gently. Yeah, keeping your arms, elbows straight, and then the other way. And let's just start by keeping your head heavy. Head is gonna stay from, it's not gonna move. Eyes are looking at the ceiling. Yeah, first. Then I want you to add your head. So then you're gonna look at your hands going side to side with your eyes and your head. So then you're gonna rock your head as well. Yes, very nice. Make sure the hips stay stable. They're not moving with you. Yes, nice job. That's it. Very nice. Make sure you try go the same distance on both sides. Yeah, because one side wants to go more than the other. So make sure you do both ways, both directions. Yes, go to that little part that's a little sticky, but don't push it, right? One more time. Fantastic. Okay. Then from here, we're gonna keep the arms towards the ceiling, but we're gonna separate them shoulder width apart. And we're gonna let the arms go back towards our ears as you inhale, and then exhale, bring your arms down by your sides. Inhale back, exhale down. Inhale back, exhale down, right? Good. One more time. Exhale down. Now from here, we're going to bend the elbows by our sides and keep your fingers and your hands pointing to the ceiling, like this. Yeah. So turn your hands to face each other. And then feel the shoulders heavy and the shoulder blades wide in the back. So you might want to move maybe your elbows a little farther away from your torso to feel that connection, and feel that you can press into your elbows and feel that connection to the mat as you exhale. And then release. So you're not really moving, you're just pressing your elbows into your mat and feel that connection there and release. So feel the width across your chest as you do that. Feel the width, no tension, no shoulders going up. They're actually trying to widen as you press onto your mat. And one more. Fantastic. All right, so we're gonna keep our hands right here, pressing gently onto your elbows, and we're going to go into a bridge. So lift your hips, press into your elbows gently, and then bring your hips down, okay? Wide shoulders, lift the hips up and down, okay? Great job. Think of the shoulders away from the ears, right? And fingertips towards the ceiling. Yes. And one more. Fantastic. Bring your hips down and roll to your side. So we're gonna do some side work. We're going to, you can have your elbow underneath your head to support you, or a pillow if you have one nearby. And we're gonna keep our knees bent and our feet aligned with our hips, okay? So I'm gonna have to move a little bit more towards this side. So I can move my top leg because that's what we're gonna do. But before we do that, we're gonna lift our side on our torso at the bottom. And we're gonna lengthen the top leg. Yeah. Once we have the space underneath our waistline, we're gonna find that length and reach gently with our leg. And we're just gonna have the top hand in front of you to support you so you're not arching or rounding with your lower back. And then we're gonna kick forward. And then when you kick back, that's when I want you to focus on your abs to keep that pelvis and the hip from going backwards, right? And forward and back, and forward and back. Yes, make sure the abs are working, the belly is lifting, and the side of your waistline is up a little bit. So you can move that leg. Whoa. Today it is challenging for me to do this. Yes, so really doesn't have to be a big movement. If I go really far back, right now I'm gonna let the ribs go forward and I don't want that. So you wanna feel that connection. Beautiful. And if anything, see if you can get a little more length and opening at the front of the hip. And those are two more here. And one more. Great job. And then we're gonna keep the leg straight and point and flex your foot. Just for 10 here. Point, flex, point, flex, point, and flex. Make sure the shoulder is relaxed, the neck is relaxed, the head is heavy. Point, flex. And last one here, and we're gonna bring that leg straight down. Okay? We're gonna keep the leg straight, and then we're gonna bring the top arm up to the ceiling. Make sure that the leg is, let's bring it a little more in front of you, actually, instead of at your hip level. So right a little bit there in front of you. And then gently, we're gonna rotate the upper back, okay? So with that, you're gonna move your hand, your arm back, but you're not gonna let the shoulder go forward. Gently, not a lot. Roll with your head, going with your arm, and then come back. Okay? Yeah, a little less than that, Judy, with your arm. Make sure you can see your arm always. No, bring your arm closer to the ceiling a lot more. Yeah, that's plenty. And then come back to center. Come back to the beginning, to pointing to the ceiling. And then arm is going with your ribcage and your head. Think of maybe a foot back, and that's more than enough. And then come back. Very small. It's not a big movement. We're just opening the chest back very gently and very controlled. And then come back to the ceiling. And one more. And back to center. Bring your arm down and push yourself up. Before we go to the other side, we're gonna go into our hands and knees first, okay? Great. We're gonna make sure your knees are underneath your shoulder, your knees are underneath your hips and your hands are underneath your shoulders. And then we're just gonna let the chest go forward like this with your arms up straight. And then we're gonna press into our hands and lift your heart away from your mat. And forward and back. Just a few of those. If you like, you can let it heavy as you do this. Okay, if it feels better than keeping your neck straight and long. You decide. And one more. And we're gonna hold that pushing of the shoulder blades away from each other. Good, great job. You can still keep your head down and relax, no problem there. And then from here, all we're going to do is press into your right hand to lift your left knee. Sorry, press into your left hand to lift your left knee, and then down. Press into your right hand and lift your right knee. Good, so same side, you're just putting pressure on one hand to lift the same side knee. Yep, up. And so see if you can feel the abdominals helping you here.
to lift the knee and press into your hands. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Good job. Press. And try not to go side to side. Try to stay as stable. You're just floating the knee up. There you go, Judy. That's a good one. Repeat the same on the other side. Yes. Good job. And take a break. Shift your way back towards your heels. And stretch. Trying to keep the spine straight, not rounding. So don't go to the point of a child's pose. A little sooner than that, you're going to stop to keep the tailbone still going up to the sky. Yeah, and then forward, and then back. So you're just rocking your way forward and back, gently. Good. And one more time. Fantastic. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and come up into kneeling. And we're gonna move our arms forward and back like this. Just swinging your arms. Yep, that's it. Feeling the length in the spine, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the wrists. Great. And 2. And 1. Okay, one more time, going to be on our hands and knees. And then this time, we're going to lengthen the leg behind us. So we're gonna press into our hands, find the length in your spine. Make sure you're not rounded or arched. So find the tailbone going directly to the opposite side of the room behind you. And we're gonna lift one knee, and then we're gonna lengthen that leg and keep the toes down if you like. Make sure the hips are square. And then bring that leg down, and let's do the same thing with the other leg. Remember, we're not trying to go sideways. We're trying to lift a little bit off the floor and then lengthen the leg. So that way you're not having to rotate. You're keeping the toes dragging onto the floor. I think that would be better. That's it, a little bit, and then lengthen that leg. Keep it on the floor. Keep the leg on the floor, the toes on the floor, Judy. There you go. And then bring the leg in and other leg, that's it. Keep the hips facing the mat. One more time. Shoulders away from the ears. Yes, lift that chest off the floor. And once you've done one on each side, take a break. Walk your hands a little farther away from your center and go a little wider with your knees and bring your chest down into your modified child's pose. If your shoulders don't like that, you can bend your elbows. So that way you're down, your head is heavy and down, and your back is still straight. Okay? Yes, that looks fantastic. Great job. That's another way of stretching and lengthening the spine without compromising the lower back. All right, let's come up into standing. I'm sorry, kneeling again. So we can turn to the other side and do our other side lying. So go ahead and lie down on your side. I'm gonna grab my water bottle. And we're gonna bend our knees. Again, and feet aligned with our hips. Back is straight, I'm against a wall or an imaginary wall, not a real one. So I can lengthen the spine and find the space underneath my waistline. Okay, head is heavy on my arm, on my pillow. Great, and yes, top hand is in front of you, fantastic. That gives you some support. Then we lengthen the top leg and we lift it off the floor. And then find that lift and length. And we're gonna send the leg forward and back. So here's the important part. Your leg is moving, but nothing else should move. Abdominals are helping you here to keep that pelvis and hips from rocking forward and back. And the ribs are also connected to your hips, so you're not arching your lower back at this point. Okay? So keep going, moving the leg as straight as you possibly can. You can let the foot relax, or
keep it pointed or keep it flat, whatever works for you. Just don't need to put in a lot of tension. You just need to feel like swinging that leg gently and control. Yes, so try to kick more forward than back, Maureen. Yeah, yes, and not so far back. That's a little too far. Yes, that's it. It's a smaller swinging of the leg. Perfect. That's it. So in a way it's work, but it's also trying to loosen up and create a space between your leg and your hip joint. That's what I want you to feel like. Lengthen, lift your leg a little bit higher, Maureen. Just a tap. Yes. 2 more. Oh, no, I know. You feel it. 1 more. Great job. We're going to keep the leg on top of the other end long. I mean, on top of the foot, actually. And just point and flex your foot. Point, flex, point, flex. Keeping that length, keeping the space underneath your waistline. Pointing and flexing your foot. Just the foot. Foot is moving. Everything else is stable and controlled. Woo! 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Now we bend the knee. Oh no, I'm sorry. We just bring the leg straight up. Okay? So now imagine still that wall behind you. But we're going to have a little bit of space now between the wall and you because you're going to lift your arm up and gently, very gently, make sure the arm is not behind you to start. Make sure that it's pointing to the ceiling. So it's a straight line from my chest to my arm. And then I'm moving my arm and my chest together as I look back behind me. And then I come back. So it's not a big movement. Don't go too far. Make it small. Make sure it's not just the arm. It's also your chest. Very small. Smaller than that. Judy. Yeah, less with the arm. Yeah, about there. Stop there. Good. And come back. Yep, that's it. Make sure you're going with your head. Yes, and 1 more. Fabulous. And then bring the arm down by your side. Now on this side, we're going to bring our elbow underneath our shoulder, okay? Like this. So you're gonna bend, you can bend both knees or keep the top leg straight, up to you. I'm gonna bend it. And I'm just gonna bring my arm underneath my shoulder or my elbow. So really make sure you do that. And then when you do that, make sure that the shoulder is not further back. And we're just gonna work on lifting the rib cage off the floor, away from the floor. Okay, so you're gonna lift it up and then relax. And lift it up and then relax. And Judy, you can do that just by bringing the rib cage off the floor while you're lying down like that. That's perfectly fine too. Up and down. And up and down, and 1 more. Good. And then push yourselves to the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay? So same thing, Maureen, if you want to do that lying down instead of being on your elbow, you can do that for the, yes, if it doesn't feel right. Now make sure your elbow is underneath your shoulder and you're pressing onto your elbow and you're lifting the rib cage up. And then you're letting it relax, and then up and relax. So what you don't want to do is feel like you're collapsing into the shoulder. There's always that space. Lift up, up, up a little bit more, Maureen, with your rib cage. Yeah. So I'm on my elbow here, and up and down. And 1 more. Yep. And left. Fantastic. Good job, both of you. Good. Let's come up, and this time we're going to go into kneeling first. And then we're going to move a little bit with the rib cage. Okay? So what I want you to think is that your ribs and your hips are sort of not connected for this exercise. Okay? So they're just going to move independent from your hips. Okay? So all we're going to do is bring our hands on top of our head very gently. And we're not pushing into our hands. I'm gonna go back a little bit more, I think, so you can see my whole head. Right? So I'm not pressing on it. Oh, that's a little, I'm gonna go farther.
I'm not pressing on it, I'm lengthening up and I'm pushing my hands. I'm pushing my head onto my hands. And then gently, I'm just gonna rock side to side. But I'm not moving my hips. Very little, very little, very little. Good. And one. And then from here, I'm gonna go little circles with my head and my ribcage over my hips. I know it's a little tricky. And make it small. Even if you don't feel like you're moving, it's okay. And you're really trying to go into just very little circles and then go the other way. Sometimes changing sides makes it easier. And you just imagine your rib cages all going around over your hips. Okay? A few more without going too big. Too big, Maureen, don't go too big. Make it small. Yeah, a little smaller. 2 and 1. Fantastic. And then bring the arms down. I think both of you have plenty of space, so we're just gonna go down with your arms and then up, and then down, and then up. So really try to keep your hands by your sides like that, but turn your palms towards the front of the room, or towards the camera. So your fingertips are pointing out to the sides. Yes. And we're gonna inhale as we send the arms up. Exhale as we send the arms down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, inhale, feel like the spine wants to go to the sky as well. And 2 more. And 1 more. Great. Your last one here is going to be hands parallel to each other like robot arms, and you're going to swing them again. And then you're going to turn your rib cage like you're walking, but you're really not, right? Just rocking. Yeah. So create a movement of walking with your arms, not rotating, not going in front of you, just sideways, sideways, sideways. That's it. Like you're really like if you were walking, that's sort of you'll go forward with one arm and then the other. Exactly. That's it. So here, believe it or not, we're using our rib cage independent of our hips, which we need in order to have a much looser mobility at our gait, right? Very important. And you can feel how one side will go more than the other, right? And so we're trying to get a little more equal on both sides. 2 more. And 1 more. Fantastic. Okay, let's go ahead and come back down, lying down on your back with your knees bent again and your feet flat on the floor. Great job. Once we're here, we're gonna go with our right leg, dragging your foot onto the floor. You're gonna drag your foot until you fully lengthen your leg. Okay? And once you do that, you're gonna send your toes up to the sky, keeping the leg down, and you're gonna flex and point your foot. Flex and point and flex and point. That's it. Let's go with your right leg, point and flex and point and flex. And 2 more. And 1 more. Now we're gonna go side to side with your foot, like you're doing windshield wipers with your foot. Okay? Now, if you can move also the whole leg and move from the hip, you can. Don't, that's okay. It's more for the foot, for the ankle to go side to side. And then circle around with your foot. One way and then the other way. It's pretty interesting how the ankle and the hip work together. So we're going to mobilize the ankle and then we're going to mobilize the hip again. Good. Bend your right knee and drag your right foot back to being flat on the floor. And then from here, we're going to bring the right knee to tabletop.
Now, we're gonna lengthen the leg to the point where it feels okay to you. And we're gonna do little circles with that leg. Very, like you're stirring into the hip joint. They're very small circles, like maybe a paper plate size circle. Maybe those for birthday parties, for cake, right? So they're not a big one. I know there are different sizes, I guess, but we're gonna do the one for the cake. So little circle one way, and then reverse it the other way. This is a very traditional Pilates exercise. Woo, make sure you're using your abs here. Bring the belly in, and the opposite hip is start moving. Yes, and one. Bring that knee all the way towards your chest and hug it with both hands. Oh, fabulous. That's it. And let that leg go. Bring the foot down on the floor. We're gonna do the same thing with your left leg. So lengthen as you drag your foot onto the floor with your left leg. Once you're there all the way, you're gonna point and flex your foot. Point, flex, point, flex. Great, 2 more. And then we're gonna go to our windshield wipers. Side to side with your foot. Side, side. Three, 2, and we're gonna go into circles now with your foot. Circle around. There's my garbage truck coming. It's coming earlier and earlier. I don't know why. And reverse the circles the other way. I don't know, by doing that, if you can feel a little bit of movement on the hip as well. And if not, that's okay. Just something to be aware of. And one. Good. Bend, start bending the knee as you drag your foot back down onto the floor until your knee is bent. From there, we're gonna bring the left knee to tabletop. And then gently lengthen the leg to the point where it feels okay to you. And then we're gonna circle the leg around in a small circle. Yeah. Make sure the opposite hip. Here's the tricky one, because your right hip will always want to go higher for the most part. For right-handed people, forget Maureen is not, so it might be the opposite for her, but try to keep the hips anchored while you do this for sure. And then reverse your circles. So here the good thing is not only the hip, but the quads, the front of your leg, have to work as well. And if you don't feel it, that's fine, but they are working. 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Bend that left knee and bring the foot down. And bring your feet together, knees together. Arms are gonna go out to the side, and you're just gonna rock your knees and your feet together side to side. You can have your feet down on the floor, or you can have your feet off the floor. You decide, whatever feels good to you. Fabulous. 2 more. And 1 more. All right, let's go ahead and bring the feet down again. We're gonna bring the arms up to the ceiling this time. We're just gonna add a little more to it. We're gonna relax the shoulders and feel wide first across your chest. And then from here, we're gonna keep your arms. Remember how anchored we felt with our elbows down? We kind of wanna feel the same with our shoulders. And we're gonna lift our hips up into a bridge. So make sure you have your feet closer to you before you do that. And then we're coming up with our hips. Great job. And then down. And again, hips come up. Beautiful. And then down. Good. 1 more time. Hold your hips up and bring your arms down by your sides. Fantastic. Now from here, all I want you to do is swing your hips side to side, but without moving your knees. That's a little tricky. So hips are gonna go side to side, but knees are not gonna move. Imagine you have a skateboard underneath you, or remember the typewriters, how they will go from side to side? Think of that with your hips, but not moving with your knees. There, this is not a huge movement. And side to side, side to side. And start coming down as you go side to side. Like you're swinging and gently going down, 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 all the way to the floor. 2 and 1 until you touch the floor. Fantastic. Let's do that one more time. Arms up to the ceiling. Wide and anchor with your shoulders and your feet. Lift your hips up. Once your hips are up, arms are gonna come down. And we're gonna swing our hips again, side to side. Very gently and slow. It's not a big movement once again. And then we're gonna start going down, 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 all the way to the floor. Okay? Side, side, down, down, all the way down to the floor. Fabulous job. All right, let's go ahead and from here, we're gonna go to our side again. So turn yourself sideways one more time. Bring yourself a pillow or your arm. Okay, not for very long. Once again, against an imaginary wall, lengthen your top leg. Hips is squared. Right there. Great. And then all I want you to think here is that your foot is aligned with your hip. So it's not lower and it's not high. It's right underneath that hip. And then I want you to flex your foot. Yes? And then imagine you can touch the wall on that side with your heel. And I want you to press onto that wall with a heel, an imaginary wall. If you can really touch that side of your house with a heel, just feel that length. Just feel pushing into that wall with your heel as you keep your leg straight. And just feel how that takes any tension in the front of the hip. Not create it. If you're creating it, then don't push too hard, right? And then pay attention that your ribs are not lifting up the floor for you to do that. So make sure those hips, the ribs are down, just a little bit of space underneath your waistline so you can keep that length. Beautiful. Now we're gonna do the same thing, pointing with your foot. So with your toes. So now you're gonna point your toes and try to do the same. Feel how that opens the front of your hip a little bit more as you're really trying to reach towards that wall with your toes. Yeah, and that's it. Let the knee relax on top of the other. Fantastic. Let's come up. We're gonna push ourselves up again. Into kneeling one more time before we go to the other side. Great. Yep, so come up into tall kneeling, no hands on the floor. Yeah, that's it. And then we're just gonna bring your arms, imagine they're really heavy, and then we're gonna just gently side bend one way and then the other. And then I want the head to go with your arms, okay? So you're really letting the head go. Side to side, fantastic. Very slowly so we don't get dizzy. And 2, and 1. We come back to center. Then we're gonna turn our head one way and then turn our head the other way. Just gently
and 1. Fantastic. Then we're gonna come back to center. We're gonna be turning sideways, but we're gonna do smiley faces with our chin. So we're gonna go down first and then to that side. Go down to look at the floor and then go to the other side, okay? So yeah, exactly, just creating a little less tension and a little nice stretch on the neck. And one more. And we come back to center. And then we're going to lie down on the other side to feel that length on the side of our body. So bending your knees first, feet aligned with your hips, head relaxed onto a pillow or your arm, feeling the slight space underneath your waistline. And then, you ready? Great. And then we're going to lengthen the top leg. Once we're there, we're going to make sure it's aligned with your hip, so it's not too low, it's not too high. And then we're going to flex your foot, keeping the leg straight, right? You're going to try to reach now your heel towards that opposite wall. So really flex that foot and imagine that heel can reach that wall. And feel maybe a little more in the back here of the leg. That's it. And feel that the ribs are softening and not creating tension in the lower back. Great. Now let's point our foot. Reaching, softening the ribs. Now see if you can feel a little more on the front of your hip flexor. Sure it's straight, and if you don't feel it, that's fine. The right leg tends to be a little tighter sometimes, or one leg more than the other. Just feel those toes pointed as well so we can stretch and also work the back of your leg. 2 and 1. Great job. Feels like the whole leg has worked. We're going to bend the knee. And then we're going to push yourselves up. One more time. Your last one, the last exercise here lying down is going to be with the ball or your pillow. You're going to go over. And Judy, you can also use your foam roll. Oh yeah, you have your ball. That's, oh, you have one just like mine. That's fine. Perfect. Yes, perfect. And then you can use a pillow, Maureen, if you have a pillow. Yeah, that's fine. So one of this or the pillow. Yeah, the pillow is fine. Yes. So you're going to bring it underneath your upper back, not your lower back. Stay away from your lower back. So meaning it's going to be between your shoulder blades, above your bra line, and you're going to hold your head with your hands. Once you're there, a little bit for you. Yeah, that's good, Judy. You're great there. And then go over your ball like that. Inhaling. And then exhaling as you come up. Maureen, you might want to move that pillow a little closer to your lower back, just a tad. So you can let the head hang a little bit more. Try that. Yeah, that's it, that's it. That's better. So go back with your head, gently keeping length in the back of your neck, not letting the chin go back too far, and come up as you exhale. Relax the shoulders. And exhale as you come up, lifting the chest gently. Fabulous, that's it. Let's go back as you inhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Or 1 more time, actually. Inhale, 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 and exhale to come back. Fantastic. Go ahead. Do your very last one there. Awesome. and up. And from there, bring your hands down to push yourself up into kneeling one more time. Very last time here. Let's see if you can see. Yes, that's good. I moved my camera, right. So yes, we're going to now do the same thing we did as we started. We're gonna let the shoulders come up towards our ears and then down by our sides. Up to our ears gently and down by our sides. One more time. And then we're gonna do the one up, back, down and around and down, right? Up, back, around and down. Yes, and just kind of notice if that feels different than what you felt at the beginning. Hopefully it feels less creaky, maybe less, a little more looser. Yeah. And one, that's it. So from here, let's take a deep breath with your arms going up to the ceiling. Inhaling. You don't have to reach your arms, your shoulders. Just let the arms go up and let the shoulders be down. And then come with your arms down. Let's do that one more time. We're gonna let the arms go up, but let the shoulders relax onto your shoulder sockets. Good. And then let the arms kind of drop or relax. Yeah? And just swing your arms here. And just swing the arms in front, one in front of the other. Maybe, yes, kind of getting one in front of the other a little bit, a little looser, hopefully. There you go. Nice. And we're gonna shake our hands and shake with the elbows. Yeah, a little shaky with the shoulders. Everything's shaky. We can do some shimmy.